folks, my name is Jen, and welcome here to the chaos that is this year, and me realizing that maybe monthly TBRs don't work for me anymore. So, today we are going to be talking to you about the books that I'm hoping to get to in November, and this is again going to be extremely tentative. I think that next year I'm going to be doing some rethinking on how I set up my videos and how I set up like when I'm going to be reading when and what I do, that whole thing. I have some thinking to do over the next couple of months to get ready for next year. But anyway, I have a stack of books right here on the floor that I want to hopefully pick up, but I really don't know if it's gonna happen or not. So we'll see. We'll see what we get to. Okay. The first thing. So I basically have given up on my 23 and 2023 challenge because I'm just gonna stress myself out. November and December are already incredibly stressful months for me. Totally my own fault. I do it to myself every year because I tend to make a lot of things for the holidays and I just put too much pressure on myself. So I don't want to stress myself out anymore by making myself try to read mostly fairly chunky books in the next 2 months. So honestly, these are like, this is chunky enough what I have put aside here. Yeah, okay, anyway. I've given up on my 23 and 2023 challenge, as I've said, because I was supposed to pick this up last month, Sadie by Courtney Summers, and I still haven't. I put a bookmark in it and set it on my nightstand with the full intention of reading it. See, it's on like the first page. Still didn't pick it up. I really hope to get to this in November. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but I would like to. This is a dual perspective and also dual timeline, I believe, book. It's a thriller technically, and it is partially following a young woman named Sadie. She ended up having to grow up a little bit fast and take over raising her younger sister, and unfortunately her sister is killed by I can't remember if it's just like a one-time killer or a serial killer or something. So one perspective and timeline is following her before and I think in the immediate aftermath of everything, and then the other perspective is through podcast transcripts and whatnot of a true crime podcaster who is basically following, like presenting the case to his audience and then also trying to figure out what happened because Sadie has also consequently disappeared, so he's trying to put the pieces together basically. I've been wanting to read this for a very long time. I keep putting it on like lists, on like reels and things like that of I really want to pick this up, I really want to pick this up. Still haven't picked it up. I'm dragging my feet on it because I am worried of how emotionally upsetting this is probably going to be. But I do really want to read it because podcast, you know, right up my alley. The next thing is actually, I picked this as my lunchtime read, so the book that I throw in my bag that I read on my lunch break and also have in my bag, you know, if I have to wait in the car or wait in line somewhere or do whatever. And I was just feeling like I want something kind of silly. So I decided to crack open another Terry Pratchett, so this is Pyramids. I am trying to, besides the Tiffany Aching series, I've been trying to read the Discworld from the beginning chronologically. So this is book, I don't know, where are we at? 7, 8? something like that. Yeah, so this is following Tepic. He was trained at an assassin school at Ankh-Morpork's famed assassin school. And I'm just at the beginning of the book where he's like reflecting on his time at this school, and he is currently in the middle of an assassin's examination, which mostly involves trying not to die. But apparently, so he is also the crown prince, or rather the crown pharaoh. It's still a prince, right? It's still prince though, because yeah. Okay, he's the crown prince to a desert kingdom, and apparently his dad is going to die. This is what it says on the back. So he is basically inheriting the throne, and he doesn't really know how to be a pharaoh, so there's that. And then he also has to build the pyramid to end all pyramids as a suitable resting place for his father, who's very eccentric. So yeah, this is basically the usual shenanigans, it sounds like, of Terry Pratchett. And I'm on page 31 so far, so plugging along. So I posted that I was going to be starting this book, I think last week. That did not happen. So it is instead getting moved into November, and that is Fairy Tale by Stephen King. This doesn't seem to be horror. This is more fantastical, like a fantasy novel. Basically, the short summary is it's about a boy who inherits the keys to a parallel world where good and evil are at war, and the stakes cannot be higher for that world or ours. Kinda fantastical, and I do tend to be more in the mood for fantasy and fantastical things moving into the colder months. So I'm thinking that I will be more in the mood to read this some point in November. Another book that I wanted to pick up is one that I recently got, and just like a cute light thing, and I'm also kind of in the mood for more Lloyd Alexander anyway, so I figured I'd pick up The Goblin and the Boy. So this, I think, is a standalone Lloyd Alexander. I hadn't even heard of this book until I found it at the store. This one was not one of his that was on my radar. Basically, he's an 11-year-old boy named Clive. Nope, David. I'm doing alright, guys. It's been a long week and it's only Tuesday. Basically, this is about David. He's an 11-year-old boy. He's just gone through a major illness, and his elderly, like, great aunt or whatever has said, hey, let me take over his tutorage while he's recovering and everything. And you know what, and David's not very excited about this initially because he sees his aunt as a Gorgon, or a Goblin, this kind of like mythical monster that makes him just hear boring lessons all the time. But over the course of her teaching him, which is actually a lot more fun, in his own wild imagination, he starts having her be a part of his daydreams, along with various real and mythic characters. As you can see, there's Sherlock Holmes, the Sphinx, I think that's Napoleon, there's Mona Lisa, of course. Everybody kind of featuring in these fantastical imaginings of his. Is supposed to be kind of like a, fantastical, like, book, and I imagine that he ends up getting along with his aunt really well eventually, is what I'm assuming is going to happen. But just a sweet little fantastical story, and as it's one of the ones that I got recently, and when I asked, hey, which one should I put higher up on my priority list, the Graz family suggested that I put this higher up. And you know what? I'm down for it, because November is going to be a very even as I'm stressing about getting like stuff started. It's going to be a very like trying to self-care kind of month for me, because it's my birthday month, so yes. Next things that I want to get into, it's a lot of things. So basically I desperately want to read the new Percy Jackson, The Chalice of the Gods. I don't think it, I mean, I know technically it's like Percy Jackson Olympians, but because that's what he has it under, and it's technically like book number 6, but this is apparently going to be like a new offshoot trilogy things. This is basically Percy is trying to get into New Rome University, but he finds out that to really get accepted, he needs to have 3 different recommendation letters from different gods. So he has to fulfill 3 quests, in order to earn the necessary 3 letters of recommendation from Mount Olympus. The first task is to help Ganymede, Zeus's cupbearer, retrieve his golden goblet before it falls into the wrong hands. 1 sip can turn a mortal into a god, and Zeus will not be pleased about that. So it is Percy heading out on a quest with Annabeth and Grover again, which is great. I love the dynamic of that trio, so I'm pretty excited to get to this. Cannot wait, in fact. But I have heard that you should read the Trials of Apollo series before this, because there will be spoilery stuff in here. I have not read the Trials of Apollo series yet. So my other goal for November is to read the Trials of Apollo series. So basically, Trials of Apollo starts with the Hidden Oracle. Basically, this starts out with Apollo being punished and cast out of Mount Olympus, and being put into the form of a 16-year-old mortal boy, and he basically has to prove himself worthy of rejoining the gods again, hopefully. And the problem with this is that one of his adversaries knows he is there and is following him, and there's just a lot of different shit going on. I have heard mixed things about the Trials of Apollo series. I've heard people say that they love it. I've heard people say that Apollo himself is absolutely insufferable. I have mixed feelings about Apollo in general, Apollo the god of myth. I'm not too super, I guess maybe I'm mostly indifferent about the Apollo of ancient myth. The Apollo, I can tell you, of Lore Olympus, I absolutely hate. And the Apollo, from what I remember of Rick Riordan's, like, Megaverse or whatever, he's kind of annoying. I didn't have, like, super huge opinions about him either, other than him being fairly annoying. So I'm not sure how this series will go. So I'll start with the first book, which is The Hidden Oracle, and I don't know what's going on with the other books, but I don't want to get spoiled or give you spoilers, so yeah, basically I'll try to be reading that, and then it's The Dark Prophecy, The Burning Maze, The Tyrant's Tomb, and The Tower of Nero, which that sounds like Rome again, so interesting. And then the last thing that I'm hoping to get to in November, which I know for a fact that I will not be reading this in its entirety in November, but I am hoping that I will at least maybe start getting partway through it in November, perhaps. I really want to do a reread of The Count of Monte Cristo. So there's two reasons for this, which you might be asking, Jen, what the fuck is the matter with you? You just said it's a stressful month, you already have a lot you want to get to, and then you want to read this 1,200 page monstrosity. So basically, I have been jonesing for a reread of this puppy since I want to say maybe 2 months after I read it last year. So that's something. I'm also honestly kind of afraid to reread it because I'm afraid that I won't love it as much as I did the first time. We'll see. And then point two is that I was hoping that my next video to go up in my all-time favorite book series. I was hoping to have that go up either at the end of December or maybe at the beginning of January. Kind of maybe you're intertwined or around the same time that I'm doing like my usual end of year plan for the new year shenanigans, all of that stuff. I figured I would also hopefully have that third video in the series up, and I was hoping that that one would be focused on my two favorite classics, and this is one of them. And now technically I could just go through all of the many clips that I had filming myself reading this the first time, which I was making a vlog of, but then decided, holy shit, I don't know how to edit this. There's probably like, I don't know, 10 hours or something of material here, and this is just so overwhelming, so I never ended up doing anything with it. I could theoretically just watch through all of that and think about stuff, but and be able to like give you an in-depth reasons why this is on my favorites list, but I don't know, that almost feels like cheating because I've been rereading everything else and like breaking it down for you all. So I don't know. I also want to give it another read through. So yeah, I'm hoping to at least get a couple of chapters in by the end of November. We'll see. This is the Robin Buss translation, which I highly recommend because it was very enjoyable, and also I have heard from other people before I got this version that this was the recommended version to get. I think there are other covers though, and I would suggest getting maybe not the hardcover, just because, as you can tell, it's pretty, but the paint comes off if you have sweaty hands, and I'm a sweaty bitch when I am excited and reading sometimes. So yeah, just be aware of that. This book, in case you don't know about this at all, this is a story following Edmond Dantes. He is basically having the greatest life. He has just been promoted. He is going to be captain of a ship, which is wonderful news for him. Things are looking up. His boss loves him. As I said, he's been promoted, which is amazing because he's able to now provide for himself, for his father. He and his father have been poverty-stricken for most of their lives, and now he's able to, like, he'll be able to take care of his father in his old age, and he is just about to get married to the love of his life, Mercedes, and he'll be able to, like, give them a good start in their new life as well. So things are, like, looking up for Edmund. Unfortunately, there are a couple of men who are very jealous of what he has. One who is just jealous in general of his good fortune, and that they're not having a good time. One is jealous of his promotion. They prefer that they would have been promoted, and another is extremely jealous of his impending marriage to Mercedes because they are in love with Mercedes and would rather be married to her. And they hatch a plot to get him framed for treason, and he is thrown into the Chateau d'If, which is this island prison off the coast of France, and he is basically spends time there forgotten until through some chance encounters and things he is able to get out and seek his vengeance upon the people who ruined his life. As I said before, I think in the times that I've gone on and on about this book, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty action-packed. Things get a little bit slow in the beginning, but I think it's something like this is like his good times and his time in jail and everything, or like this kind of a map. Maybe not this exact thing, but around here, the setup and everything, and then basically the rest of the novel is just his, like, revenge, or little pieces that are slowly being woven together to create this total vengeance upon those who wronged him. And it's pretty great. So yeah, really, really looking forward to hopping back into this. I will say the movie, also really good, but the ending is different. So I actually think I like both of them. I think I prefer the ending of the movie, but yeah, the book is just so good. So yeah, this is the stack. This crazy ass stack that I'm hoping to get to in November. I'm not going to get to all of these. I'm at least hoping... I already know that these two probably aren't going to happen. I'm hoping to at least crack them open. But I would really want this as a sweet little read, maybe like before bed or something. And then the rest of, like, I want to pound through these, like, Rick Riordan books pretty quickly. So that's the plan. Mostly I really want to get to Count of Monte Cristo as well. So yeah, wish me luck. I don't know how this is gonna go. We'll see. I hope that you guys are having a great weekend, wherever you're at when you see this. I hope you have a great start to your November. Hope and mine's been good. I'm filming this ahead of time because I am going to be busy this weekend. So I hope that you had a great end to your October, you have a great start to your November. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for always watching. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.